Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for joining this event. I'm Mayra Ortega Maldonado. I'm Managing Director of Art and Tech Society, and I will be presenting Paradigm Shift, We Do It Together. And this is done with Hugo Pilate, which is a strategy designer for Art and Tech Society as well. So the objective of this event is to brainstorm together and how to envision and create together Eindhoven as a more sustainable city. So first, we will go for the very global challenges and opportunities of our world. Then we will slowly to what happened in the Netherlands in Eindhoven, the contribution of art and tech society, and also we go to the contribution you can make in our city. First, this is our beautiful planet. We have main global and regional challenges, as you know. It's about climate change, it's about pandemics, the social unrest and polarization, and also poverty. So problems that has not been solved for decades. And the main proposed solutions are, for instance, are the global development goals, are the circular and donut economy, a new concept that are popping up and bringing solutions, and also the great reset that is coming after the pandemics. And in Europe, you see, for instance, the European Green Deal and also the new European Bauhaus that is using design and art as a tools to solve our problems. And well, the cause of the problem, we agree with many authors of the outside world and the scientific world that the main problems about these challenges is the disconnection of people with their surroundings. That can be this, we are very much disconnected with other communities, and that's why still child labor exists, but we also still are, we don't feel part of nature. And that's why we use nature as a way of, to get resources, and also, but also to put our waste. We have a very short-term and punctual thinking, so still our problems are being solved for today, but we don't think about what is, are we going to leave it to our grandchildren. So still our long-term perspective is not yet there. And we have to work and solving our problems in a multidisciplinary way. Besides, we have problems, we are very individualistic and capitalistic values, so we still think only about ourselves, and we want to solve our needs. For instance, buying stuff. We think if we buy stuff, we think we will become more happy, and I think we need to reflect about that. And what are the main trends? More global complexity. We have a strong influence of high tech in our society. You see smart cities, but also the artificial intelligence are becoming the fourth industrial revolution. We see the booming of sustainable local industry, and we see it with the electric cars, but also people buying more local organic food and supporting local makers. And of course, we see art and design as a key tools to be part of the solutions of our problems. What is the current situation in Eindhoven? First, I would say that Eindhoven, located in the Netherlands, is one of the most sustainable countries in the world. It's leading, but it's a little bit behind the Scandinavian. But still, we have great plans here, like the circular economy for 2050. But still, there are some areas of opportunity. First, I will talk about the strengths of initiatives in Eindhoven. We are the center of height and tech and design. We have a new climate change and sustainable strategy coming from the municipality of Eindhoven. Also, the municipality is coordinating the sustainability network, which is coordinated or orchestrating the different green initiatives in the city. And we have also plans for the city centers, like Knop itself, and also densification. And Evolution is becoming or will become a cultural spot, and there are many other initiatives in the city. But we have challenges as well, or areas of opportunity. For instance, society is not really in balance. We are extremely too much high tech, so we still lack the social aspects. There are not discussions about ethics, about how society well, discussions with other disciplines like anthropologists, with philosophers, with ecologists about how high tech can contribute in that direction. We have problems, for instance, the social integration of foreign people. There are around 10 or 50% of internationals working in the city. They are refugees or asylum seekers, but still they are not completely integrated. And these people with great ideas, with new cultural solutions are not being heard. We have areas of the city with high level of poverty. Still not all people benefit from the boom in economy in our city. And we have also lack of enough housing. I think some of them must be feeling that problem, and mobility in the city. So what is Art and Tech Society doing in that respect? First, our vision, we want to create a new prosperity which is more about human and nature-centric. We want to be connected, we want to pursue the well-being of communities, but also of nature, because we want to become part of nature again. As our mission, we think that the problems we have at the moment cannot be solved with the same mentality. So our mission is to change the mindset of the people, create new paradigms, and activate and empower citizens and organizations to collaborate together. So creating new paradigms, we can only do it together. We use 3 pillars: art, technology, and leadership. Art, we think that art and artistic abilities will help us to envision completely a different new society with more well-being for everyone. We will use technology as an enabler or opportunities, but we want to activate leaders because we want to impact more people. And we have selected 2020 social inclusion as a working area. So currently we have 3 programs. I will only talk about Future Making Lab, which is a group of 25 professionals and students working on making the city of Eindhoven more beautiful and livable. 2 of them are being born in Art and Tech Society, is Connecting Eindhoven. This is a city game where newcomers can get to know more the city and can get to know other people in a fast way. So we want to involve them in the social factory as soon as possible. We have Equal Table, which is an open discussion when internationals and local people can talk about problems of society, like gender equity or discrimination. And we also support Art Energy, which is a new technology that generates electricity for small buildings. And we have partners. Caserna is the University of Eindhoven, Studium Generale, TAC, and Code 21. So we are not alone. We are part also of the ecosystem. And well, what is your contribution as a citizen? First, I think the most important is the change has come from you. What do you want? What kind of future do you envision? How new behaviors of lifestyles you want to assume? Then you have to go to your influence, the zone of influence. How do you want to influence your family, your friends, your colleagues? And beyond that, you must come to be part of the network, and hopefully you will be connected with Art and Tech Society as well. So your possible contribution can be about improvement or reducing of making a positive environmental footprint, which can be about reducing eating less meat, or using your bike instead of your car, or taking a shorter douches, or you can work with your neighbors to green in your neighborhoods, creating, for instance, urban farming. But also your social print can be a bit about volunteering, helping or working for people with less privileges than you. But also you can be a maker, become a maker, and solve problems of society using your competences. And also, if maybe at the end this kind of new ideas can become a business, so you at the end become an entrepreneur, sustainable entrepreneur. So Yes, so what is your journey? And this part is going to be taken by, by Hugo. So, Hugo, please.
Should I mention about the transition? Thank you very much, Mayra. I think we'll be meeting on Zoom in a minute. So we'll get that going.
Zet je die microfoon even uit?
From Eindhoven, and otherwise where else in the Netherlands or the world. I'm setting our hopes very high here.
And you guys are also welcome to turn on your video or not, and are they allowed to also unmute if they want to?
Yeah, please.
Yes, so feel free to chat along.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're at 12 people, so we can start soon. Yeah?
I think so, and just admit people if there's more people joining.
Perfect, let's do that.
Yes, great. I will share the screen then?
Yeah.
Or not yet?
Yeah.
You can also do that yourself if you prefer.
Okay, you can share it, it's okay, yeah. Wonderful, so thank you everyone for being here. It's very nice to have all 12, I think, or 11 of us together. So the idea was to Mayra introduced me, I think, a little earlier. I'm Hugo. I'm a design researcher, and so I was trying to help Mayra with creating some really short, simple activities to understand what our respective journeys with sustainability could be in the context of this talk. And this is part of a broader effort of opening up ATS, Art and Tech Society, and kind of find new formats, new activities that we can do with the community and with its members to help you in this journey of finding your own, defining your own relationship to sustainability. Yeah. So I think we have about. And how are we on time? The cutoff is at 6:30. It's 6 right now.
Yeah, it's 6:30.
Yeah. Perfect. Great. So I think we'll have plenty of time. So I'll be sharing the presentation right now, I think, from in the chat, so that everyone can access it. And let me do this, and then we'll get properly started. Yes, so in the chat, okay, to everyone here, so you can, and we have people coming in, okay, calling in from Brazil, but you're in Eindhoven otherwise, joining from Eindhoven, Austria, and Eindhoven. This is very nice. Thank you everyone for being here. So I will join in a couple of minutes. Just had a call. No problem, Edwin. So what I'd like for us to do basically is take 20 or so minutes to reflect a little bit on what our respective journeys with sustainability could be. Okay, and what the reason I'm sharing the presentation is that I will be sharing some slides with you, as Mayra did, but really quickly we'll shift into an activity. And so you'll be more than welcome to shift around the elements that are in the presentation to kind of voice your perspective and your take on sustainability and what you'd like to see from ATS. Because at the end of the day, it's also to get to hear from you guys. Okay. So when speaking of sustainability, there's a definition I really enjoy that's from Tony Fry, and he defines it, who's a kind of a design academic critic, and he defines sustainability as the ability to sustain, right? Which may seem very straightforward, but he describes it as an ability to constantly learn, work on, improve the possibility for life. He calls it that which is vital. And I think this is really valuable because it's not something that you turn on and off, right? But it's something that is protracted over time. And so for that reason, it becomes very important not just to say, I will stop using plastic tomorrow, but instead make it a personal kind of marathon, right? And slowly develop that appetite and make sure that you develop the endurance and that you don't run out of steam right away, just trying really hard to be sustainable for 1 year, right? And so as we ease our way into 2021, I thought this would be a good place to start. One more note, since everyone has access to the presentation, all along the slides, those that Mayra had shared and myself, everything that is underlined is a hyperlink. So you can see the beautiful visuals that were earlier illustrating the presentation and the architecture studio working on them. Any of the quotes, like Tony Fry's here, I'm referencing his writing. And so, yeah, I just want to make sure that if you are curious about what was shared, you can definitely go back and have a look at our partners, so on and so forth. So I wanted to start with this image because to me, sustainability is sometimes a little bit like this. You know, we're kind of in the wake of a long wave of greenwashing and everyone wanting to be sustainable, and it's hard to keep afloat and stay interested, or at least for me, it's been really hard. And so sometimes it feels like, you know, great, we've got wind power, but then there's only one spinning in a very desolate and lonely desert. And so what I've tried to do with our activities today is to make sure that we can make this more of a collective effort. We can make sure that we can all encourage each other and motivate each other by seeing how we all choose to approach the idea of sustainability. Okay? And this was, I think, on the cover. And that's one very lovely green city with stores that you know, was presented by these architects. But I'd like for us to zoom out a little bit and take some time to imagine our own interpretation of what a green or sustainable Eindhoven might be. Okay? So this is where we shift into the activity. And I would like for everyone to come in. So let me see. Yeah, I think I have everyone. So this is on slide 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, and 2, 3, 18, great, we have 18 post-its. So what I'd like for you to do is go into the presentation now, so if you can step away from Zoom for a second and find the browser in which you have the presentation open, and just double click on one of the post-its and tell us what a most sustainable you in 2030 might be up to. What is your role? What kind of stuff you're doing? So as an example, I've put that the most sustainable sustainable Hugo I can imagine is a beekeeper and a zero waste advocate. Okay, so you can be as creative or as you want, or it can be something that you're already working on, but really challenge yourself to kind of imagine what could be you know, think of something you've always wanted to try. So beekeeping is that for me. I have no experience in it, but there's something very that I romanticize a lot about it. So that's also okay to include. Okay, so right now I only have one person in the Google Slides, but please come to the Google Slides document that I had shared in Zoom. And if you're having any issues, please unmute yourself and let me know. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So is everyone able to access? I'm seeing a lot of people in the Google slide. We're on slide 19. Yeah. So once you're on this slide, you can double click it. Oh, or not. That's the issue. Okay. Got it. So let me just change the editing settings. Is that what's happening? Are you guys not able to edit?
It seems as if I cannot edit. I only see. I only
Sorry,
can view
what was
the
that?
document. I can only view the document. I cannot edit.
Okay, that's okay. Got it. So I'm just changing the settings, and you'll have to refresh the page. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to check on my end as well, and refresh this. And we should be good to go. Yeah, perfect. So now everyone should be able to edit. So you can just double click on a post-it and yeah, write in what the most sustainable you would be by 2030. Yeah. So I have one person typing in. Yeah. So you can just yeah, okay, we've got 2 people. Help to bring fusion research back on track. Wow, okay. Who's this from?
I posted that.
Okay, hi, Ernst, is it? Okay, thank you. Okay.
That's the most sustainable thing I can do.
Great, great. And how are you imagining doing this? As a scientist, as a hobbyist, as a advocate, citizen activist?
So right now, I used to be fusion scientist, and I'm now helping a colleague who wants to start a startup on fusion research on its own.
Okay.
And I'm doing this right now as a hobby. But till 2030, who knows? Maybe I go back to fusion again.
Okay. And what is your role in that startup?
So right now I'm consulting my friend. I also have project management and systems engineering experience. And yeah, I think it's a privilege that I can do this because what we have seen during the lockdown is that it seems that just limiting ourselves a little bit doesn't help. We need big solutions.
Yeah.
And that is a big solution I can contribute to make the world more sustainable.
Great, perfect. So I think we're starting to get people to contribute, which is great. What I'd like for you to try and do is think of it as a role, or I don't want to say a job because it doesn't have to be tied to your job, but the way you do it. So the same way I was trying to say, instead of saying adopting a zero waste lifestyle, I said advocate because I wanted to imagine that I was, advocating maybe to the city of Eindhoven. But so we have replace a heating system in your house, okay, conscious consuming. So all of those, I'd love for you to put, I'm an engineer who's able to replace the heating system in his house or her house. Or it's, think of it from what role you take on in 2030. Okay. Having my own sustainable companies, consulting, or possibly using certain plants to remove heavy metals from the ground. Okay, interesting. And so this is as a CEO or perhaps as an entrepreneur, I'm guessing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who was that? Top row, second from the left. Who was that? Amélie, was it you? Not sure. Okay. Contributing in sharing the message about sustainable solution as a student, learning about and purchasing more local, make my house self-supporting and grow my own food. Okay, as an owner, replace heating systems. Okay, great. Yeah, I think we're getting a lot of great responses. There's 10 of us here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I think there's one person just sitting in the back. Oh no, there.
No, it's just that I'm just having issue to change the PowerPoint.
Sorry, Estelle, what was that?
Yeah, it's just that I'm having issue to change and update the PowerPoint. So it's not that I don't want to give my feedback. It's just I don't manage to access the PowerPoint. I don't know why.
In the slide presentation, is it?
Yeah, and when I double click, I can't write anything actually. So I don't know if
it might be, sorry, it's there were some issues with the link I had shared, but I can refresh it if you've no, it should be fine. If you refresh your page, maybe it will work.
Yeah, maybe let's see.
Okay. Yeah. Great. So I think we will move on. Oh, sorry.
Thank you. No, it's good. It works. Thanks.
Okay, great. So thank you, everyone. We have consultants. I think we have a lot of entrepreneurs in the room. We have some students, and I think just generally as citizens and consumers, shifting a little bit our practices. There's thinking as homeowners and the kind of impact we have through our built environment, which is really interesting. Everyone has a family garden for their livelihood. Okay. Whoever added this, I don't know, maybe it was Estelle, but whoever added the garden, are you a gardener in the future, or are you an entrepreneur enabling that?
I don't understand you say, but
no, I was asking, how are you making sure that happens? What is your role in making that happen? Okay. I think maybe I lost you, Jessica. Make my house self-supporting. So
It's for me, the question. I don't understand.
Was it you who wrote everyone has a family
Yes,
garden?
yes.
Yes.
I wrote this.
So I was asking you, when you envisioned this, what was your role in making this happen? Did you raise funds so that everyone can have a family garden, or did you garden those gardens for people, or did you teach them?
No, I think so. This happen in the future is possible and necessary.
Yeah.
So this is possible implant these concepts in the primary school.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
So.
Yeah. So I think then this is a really nice transition into our next activity, and that's really one of the big transformations I wanted to find ways to help. Is that we're starting to hear a lot about new solutions, new ways of doing things, but finding the door into how to make it possible, taking that step from hearing about it somewhere on the internet and making it happen, or discovering people who are doing it, can often be a challenge, and so I think this is why we're running these activities with Art and Tech Society, to see how we can help make that a little easier, right, and develop a platform like that. So if you can follow me to slide 20, I'd like for us to do one more thing, and we'll try not to take too much time. But basically, if you imagine that, so if I may have everyone come to slide 20 now. Yeah, so one slide below. Basically, what I'd like for you to do is to imagine what it would take to reach this 2030 version, sustainable version of yourself. So if you were to imagine 3 in between steps from 2020 to 2030, what might that be? So, in my hopes of becoming a most sustainable Hugo, and becoming a beekeeper and a zero waste advocate, there were 3 things I thought I needed to do. First, maybe join a community garden where there are beekeepers. That seems like a pretty practical next step. But then I thought maybe it would be good to create a zero footprint study group to just kind of learn about, how to adopt these practices, and then maybe by 2025 or 2028 I can I can try to advocate to the city and raise funds to help businesses shift to zero waste, like maybe Albert Heinz or something, and so then I feel like by 2030 I could say that I've managed to become a beekeeper and zero waste advocate. Yeah. So what I'd like for you to do is each take a row. If you see slide 21, 22, and I'll add maybe a couple more. If each of you can take your own row and try this out. So you can copy the content from your slide on slide 19, you're posted on slide 19, and then paste it at the end of your timeline, and then work your way up into the future. Okay, so I'm seeing a few people are able to do it. Great. Amazing, it's happening. Rosalind is on the ball. And yes. Okay, it's happening. Perfect. Okay, so we have someone compiling a pitch to find funding for a feasibility study. Very nice, I love researchers. Okay, and there are more slides. If there are no free spots, this is not musical chairs. We can add as many slides as you need. So feel free to use slide 23, 24. We don't all need to be on the same slide. Okay. Hi, Susan. I think we have someone joining in. Oh, Susan is struggling to enter the room. Okay, let's see. Great. Hi, Susan. I think so. For whoever who's joined in the middle of our session, I'll just quickly explain what we're doing. Those of you who know the activity, just ignore me for 2 minutes. But basically, we started on slide 19 and we asked ourselves what a sustainable us might be. So a sustainable me, perhaps, and tried to kind of think as big as we could. And so for example, myself, it would be that I'm a beekeeper and a zero waste advocate. And then we are now working on writing what some of the key milestones of that journey might be. So between 2020, 2021 now, and 2030. Yeah, so I think I've got one already for the person trying to make their house self-supporting. Okay, great. Great. Okay. Sorry, is there a question? No? Okay. Cool. So we'll take just a couple more minutes until 6:20, and then I'll ask if two of you maybe can share their journeys. That would be really valuable. Thank you. So just 2 more minutes and then we'll do that. And if you want to shift the post-its from left to right, so that they happen sooner or later, feel free to do so. That's totally okay. That's just a starting point. It's nice because, so I've just moved here actually. I've moved here in September, and a lot of these things, I've discovered some of these projects around Eindhoven. So I think, I don't know if you guys are already involved in those, but I think there's a lot to do around here that's in line with what I'm seeing here. Okay, so it's 6:20. Can someone start us off maybe with their journey? Who would like to go? Rosalind, would you like to go?
I can go if you'd like.
Yeah, perfect. Go for it, Edwin.
Well, my name is Edwin, and my sustainable me target is to contribute to sharing the message about sustainable solutions. Because personally, I have the feeling I'm working in the field of marketing and marketing research, that I can add more to the mindset of people to make sustainable life more possible, and that it is actually an easy solution to do. That's my end target for 2030. And my journey would be to locally and regionally do some research to identify sustainable innovators, to see which kind of initiatives, parties, or top companies are working on sustainable solutions. And next to that, when I have identified those companies or initiatives, I would like to help them out and work on a strong marketing and communication plan to actually facilitate, I guess, a paradigm shift in the mindset of people and their consumers, and making people more enthusiastic about all the possibilities, and hopefully in 2030, in that kind of sense, contributing, sharing the message about how can you, how can we, how can a company create sustainable solutions, and how can you participate?
I can share now. Sorry, I had problem with my microphone.
I can hear you great.
Okay. Yeah, this is Rosalind. Yeah, so as a student, I guess it's more like a personal lifestyle. I would like to learn how to be more mindful of my groceries. I guess reducing my carbon footprint in my daily activities, such as in cooking. So I would like to learn like where I can purchase more local produce, like the farm products, besides going to the big supermarkets. Yeah, and cook more of the seasonal food.
Third row on slide 21.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Rosalind. Perfect, thank you. So, I mean, because everyone has access to the slides and we're running a little bit low on time, I think we're going to shift to the final activity, but it's really nice to see and super valuable for us. One thing I'd like to point out, and I was no exception in this, is that a lot of these things are completely doable tomorrow if we were to have the time, and I think that's always a very striking thing to see. On one end, that we keep expecting that we need more innovation, and perhaps we do for it to be financially sustainable to kind of take on these projects. But a lot of it is finding a way to find a break from the churn of things and making time for it. And so to me, these small exercises really help kind of build up that motivation and see that different people are thinking in similar ways. And I mean, that's the reason also I joined ATS in the first place. So the final activity, you'll see it on slide 24. What I'd like for you to do is copy one of the post-its. So of everything you've come up with today, think of one thing that you wish could be provided or facilitated or made possible by Art and Tech Society. And the way this matrix works is that you have a vertical and horizontal axis, but on the vertical axis it's things that are more for individuals. And at the bottom of the vertical axis it's more at the city level. So maybe individual, you can have individual at the top, maybe household a little halfway through there, neighborhood in the middle, and then maybe your zip code down here, and then city all the way to the bottom. And then the horizontal axis is much more about, do you want to learn more about sustainable practices, or do you want to take action, right? And our hope is to show that anything is valuable, because any sort of progress in that direction and in these exercises is valuable. But I just want to get a sense of where everyone is headed. So I'm going to try one and say, I'd love to see a zero footprint study group, right? And so to me, that would fit at, perhaps anyone from the city could come. Yeah, it's not restricted to my zip code. So I might make it a little small. I'm just going to make it a little smaller. It's not limited to my zip code, so I put it here, but it's definitely more on the learning side. Yeah, so I would put it down here, perhaps. Okay? So I'll let everyone give this a shot. Just take a couple minutes. And if you don't mind, as you paste in your post-its, I'll just make them a tiny bit smaller to make room for everyone and reduce the size. Yeah, okay. Maybe I can zoom in here for the screen sharing. Okay, great. Okay. Yeah, so is that clear for everyone? Make myself self-supporting, yes. Contributing and sharing message about sustainable solutions, okay, perfect. And the present fusion concepts and fusion roadmap, is that very far into the action side, or you haven't placed it yet, Ernst? Oh, sorry, I can't quite hear you. Did we shut the screen? Or? Sorry, one more time?
Yeah. So it is not related to the city, so to speak, although I try to bring a part of it that is already happening to Eindhoven, but it's a very international effort, and it is action since it's about presenting these results that are already worked on.
Okay. So you're saying it's bigger scale than the city, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely. Then I'm going to shift it below there.
Okay.
And it is a little bit action, so I'm going to put you down here. High scale and high action, high impact, yeah. Okay. Then who else do we have? Conscious consuming, contributing and sharing the message about sustainable solutions, making people enthusiastic about all possibilities. I'm just going to shift this one over, yeah. All right. Making people enthusiastic about possibilities, action and city, okay. Oh, maybe I should have copied and pasted some blank post-its. Sorry about that. Maybe that would have made things easier. Small cursor. if you need to copy and paste. Great, so I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's about 8 of us. Yeah, we're running a little low on time, so again, I'd like to use the same process as the previous activity. If someone who hasn't spoken yet tonight could share with us what they've decided to isolate and why they've placed it where they did. Okay, no one? So I'll just read a couple, but we have in the extremes, we have high learning, high city or high scale. So we have approaching hospital to understand where we are now. I'd love some more context on that. I'm not sure what that was about. Learn about the shops selling local produce. Okay, so yeah, learning and city at the neighborhood level. Okay, nice. Occupy the city with new projects between children and the city. Yeah, and there's a lot of potential for that. I mean, that's happening right now. Yeah, making people enthusiastic about all possibilities. What do you mean by all? Okay. Great. So, if you want to comment, whoever wrote this, but otherwise, I think we'll wrap this up for now.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, was it Edwin? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe we'll leave it there for now, because we have some context as to what you meant then, because it was about all the different kind of services that are available and the new kind of options in your lifestyle. So great. So thank you, everyone. I'm sorry for the technical challenges and the really short time frame, but I hope this activity was valuable for you, and that's something that can help you also work with friends, neighbors, family members to kind of think through some of these things. It's definitely valuable for us, and it's not the only time we'll be running it at Art and Tech Society, just to make sure that we better understand the Eindhoven community thinking about these challenges. So thank you very much. Don't go yet, because I think Mayra wants to speak to you. So off to Mayra. Thank you, everyone.
Hi. Well, thanks everyone for joining this session. In fact, this is a new setting that we want to test. And I really appreciate if you, in the chat session, you give us a number between 0 and 10 if you like the session. And if you put some ways to improve it, will be perfect, because then we know how to make it better. And the second announcement to tell you is that at the end of January and at the beginning of February, we will have 2-hour brainstorm sessions where we will talk more about the new strategy of Art and Tech Society toward making the city more sustainable. So if you would like to join these brainstorm sessions, you are very welcome. I appreciate that you leave your email in the chat as well. So then we can have all your information. So I really appreciate all of you for this session. Thank you very much. And then, hopefully that we can be in touch very soon. So enjoy the evening. Bye-bye. Margot, do you want to say some words?
I will say something to the people, but it doesn't have to.
Yeah? No, okay. Wait a second, Margot is here.
Sorry, I just wanted to say a quick hi, and also thanks for joining us again for the new Innovation Café year. We are always still looking for new speakers, so if anyone has anyone that's might be interesting to give a presentation here in the digital world, feel free to contact us on the Innovation Café website. You can find our contact details. And otherwise, we hope to see you again next week. Not in an interactive talk that time, but just as the way you're used to from us. So hope to see you then, and thanks for joining. I will hereby end the chat.
Bye-bye.
Bye.